Okay, so we're diving deep into Robert McChesney's Rich Media, Poor Democracy.
Yeah,
It's a big one.
it
It's
is.
dense,
Uh-huh.
but important stuff.
Yeah.
We're talking the media landscape,
Right.
and not just, the latest celebrity gossip.
Right.
This is about how the news and information we consume,
Yeah.
even that article that had you ranting the other day,
Mm-hmm.
is shaped by forces we rarely stop to question.
Yeah, what's so fascinating about this is that
Yeah,
we kind of take the media for granted.
I do.
We turn on the TV, we scroll through our feeds,
Right.
but rarely do we actually stop and say
Right.
why am I seeing this
Yeah.
and not that?
Why this and not something else?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, McChesney really wants us to ask those questions.
He does. He's basically saying, hold on a second.
Yeah. This system we have,
Yeah.
this isn't some natural evolution,
Right.
right?
It's not like the trees.
It's built on choices.
Exactly.
Right. And those choices have consequences.
Yes.
Big ones.
Yeah.
Especially when we're talking about democracy.
Exactly. McChesney really argues that capitalism,
Yeah.
the very system that drives our economy,
Yeah.
has this profound impact on the way media functions.
Okay.
And I think it
makes sense.
makes sense, but we don't always connect those dots,
No.
right? Think about it. Media outlets,
Mhm.
whether it's a news channel or a social media platform,
Yeah.
they need to make money.
They do. You
Yeah.
got to pay the bills somehow.
They do. They got to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
So how do they do that? Well, they make money through advertising, right?
Right. But it's
At the most basic level, it's advertising.
right. But it's more nuanced than just running a few ads here and there.
Okay.
These outlets are selling a product,
Okay.
and that product
What's the product? Come on, what's the product?
is you,
Oh, boy.
the audience, or rather your attention
Okay.
and the buyers.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
advertisers.
Right.
Who are vying for a piece of that attention.
Gotcha.
So what gets produced,
Mm-hmm.
what gets prioritized,
Yeah.
it's all about attracting those eyeballs
Yeah.
and fitting into that business model.
Which explains why we are bombarded with ads for everything.
For everything.
From cars to prescription drugs
Yeah.
to, I don't know,
You name it, it's out there.
it's out there. So McChesney, he doesn't just stop at the present.
Right.
He takes us back
Yes.
to a time when things could have gone very differently.
Very differently.
Yeah, and he talks about this push for public broadcasting in the 1930s. And it's wild how different the thinking was back then.
It's such a stark contrast to today.
Oh, yeah.
These educators saw radio
Mm-hmm.
as this incredible tool for public good,
Mm-hmm.
not just entertainment.
Right.
They envisioned a media landscape
Yeah.
where information and education
Yeah.
were valued as highly, if not more so,
Yeah.
than the next catchy jingle.
Imagine.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
like a forgotten history of media or something.
It really is.
Right. But then what happened?
What-
Why?
Why didn't that vision pan out?
According to McChesney, it was a powerful combination of backroom deals and lobbying by commercial interests.
Of course.
That pretty much crushed the movement.
Yeah.
The allure of profit,
Right.
of controlling this new
Yeah.
and powerful medium,
Yeah.
proved too strong to resist.
Yeah. It's always about the money. It's kind of a downer.
It is.
I mean, it feels like the deck was stacked against public media
Yeah.
right from the beginning.
In a way, it was.
Yeah.
And that historical context
Mhm.
is so crucial, I think, for understanding
Yeah.
why public media today
Yeah.
is constantly fighting this uphill battle
Yeah.
for funding and recognition.
They really are. It's interesting you say that because one of the arguments against it is this whole scarcity idea,
Right.
you know,
Limited airwaves.
limited airway.
Not enough space for everybody.
Right. And not enough to go around. But I mean, in the digital age,
Right.
that argument seems
A bit outdated.
a bit outdated, don't you think?
I think so.
The internet has shattered those limitations.
Yeah.
Right.
It has.
And yet this idea that a free market
Yeah.
flooded with content
Right.
will automatically lead to a well-informed public.
Automatically right.
Yeah, it's just naturally going to happen.
Right.
It's a fallacy.
It is.
Right.
It's just not true.
Because it's not just about consuming products.
Right.
Right. We're engaging with ideas.
Yes.
With narratives.
Absolutely.
That shape our understanding of the world. They do. And when those narratives are primarily controlled by a handful of corporations,
right,
that's where the real danger lies.
That's where it gets scary.
Yeah.
It gets a little...
And that's where we get into some of the more unsettling aspects of McChesney's argument, right?
Yeah.
Because he dives headfirst into this whole world of global media conglomerates.
All right.
The ones calling the shots.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it's not a pretty picture.
It's really not.
It's easy to forget, like, these media giants.
Yeah.
These are businesses.
They are.
First and foremost.
Right.
Their priority is to generate profit.
Make money.
And they've become incredibly sophisticated at it.
Oh, yeah. They've got it down to a science.
McChesney uses this phrase, the holy trinity of media strategies.
The holy trinity, yes.
It sounds almost religious.
Right.
Which is kind of ironic.
It's very ironic.
Even though we're talking about corporations.
Yeah. But it makes sense.
But it does.
When you think about it.
Yeah.
Because it highlights how these strategies are just deeply ingrained.
Yeah.
Almost sacrosanct.
Wow.
In their pursuit of profit.
Yeah.
So the first element is synergy.
Okay.
And we see this everywhere.
Give me an example.
Think about a blockbuster movie.
Okay.
Right? You've got the film itself.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got merchandise.
Oh, yeah.
You've got spin-off TV shows.
Lunch boxes.
The lunch boxes.
Yeah.
Video games.
The T-shirts.
Maybe even theme park rides.
Right.
It's about squeezing every last drop of profit
from a
single property.
So it's not just about making money from the movie.
No.
It's about creating
an empire.
A whole web of products around it.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
And this applies to news and information as well.
Okay.
Think about how a single news story gets spun into multiple segments across TV.
Right.
Online articles.
Social media
posts.
That's everywhere.
It's all interconnected.
Yeah.
Then there's the second element, global expansion.
Okay.
These corporations aren't content.
Yeah.
With dominating just one market.
Of course not.
They're buying up media outlets.
Right.
In countries all over the world.
Yeah.
Often pushing out local voices in the process.
Wow. It's like this relentless march.
Yes.
Toward media domination.
Exactly.
Wow.
And finally, we have the third element of the Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
The pursuit of the most profitable demographics.
And this is where it gets really unsettling.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about entertaining us.
No.
Right? It's about shaping our perceptions.
It's about shaping your perceptions.
Yeah.
And shaping desires.
Right.
And fears.
Okay.
All of that.
So then think about the kind of programming that attracts the most advertising dollars.
Right.
And it's often not the most informative or nuanced.
Not even close.
Right.
It's the stuff that keeps us glued to our screen.
It's the stuff that
that plays to our emotions.
Right.
Whether it's fear, outrage, or just plain old desire.
Yeah.
That base instinct.
And what gets left behind.
Right.
The important stories.
The stuff that really matters.
Yeah. The critical perspectives.
Yeah.
The voices that are challenging the status quo.
The voices that we need to hear.
Right.
And so it creates this information desert that McChesney talks about.
Yeah.
Where this very narrow range of perspectives dominates.
Right.
And dissenting voices really struggle to be heard.
They get drowned out.
They do. He paints this...
Oh, the noise.
Yes. He paints this pretty bleak picture of just how few corporations...
It's crazy when you...
control the information landscape.
When you really stop and think about it.
It is.
Right. Like a handful of companies essentially shaping the narratives for billions of people.
For billions of people.
Have a lot of power.
It's a lot of power.
Concentrated in very few hands.
Very few hands.
And that has...
And it has huge implications for our democracy.
Implications for our democracy.
Right, because if we're not exposed to a diversity of viewpoints, if our access to information is controlled by a select few, how can we make informed decisions about our own lives?
About anything.
Let alone the future of our society.
Okay, so things are sounding pretty dire at this point.
Yeah.
I'm ready for...
It's a little bleak.
I'm ready for the optimistic part.
Okay.
Does he offer solutions?
He does.
Okay, good.
He does. And this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Because he challenges us to envision a different kind of media landscape.
Okay.
One that prioritizes the public good over corporate profit.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
What does he propose? So how do we even begin to challenge these media giants?
Right.
I mean, it feels like a David and Goliath situation here.
Yeah, McChesney would agree that it's a formidable challenge.
Yeah.
But he argues that change is possible.
Okay.
He points to the importance of spectrum fees.
Okay.
Which are essentially payments made by corporations to use the public airwaves.
Right. They got to pay to play.
Right, exactly. And so his idea is that these fees could be used to fund public media, freeing them from reliance on corporate sponsorship and government influence.
So instead of those dollars going to line corporate pockets...
Exactly.
They could actually be used to support media that actually serves the public interest.
Exactly.
Which, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It's about shifting resources and priorities.
Right.
And he also advocates for antitrust action.
Okay.
To break up these massive media monopolies.
Right.
Because if you foster competition, if you prevent...
Take them on their toes.
A handful of companies from controlling the entire playing field.
Yeah.
You can create space for more diverse voices and perspectives to emerge.
That makes a lot of sense, but those feel very top-down.
Right.
What about us?
Yeah.
What can everyday people do to support a more democratic media landscape?
That's where McChesney's emphasis on citizen action comes in.
Okay.
He draws inspiration from historical examples.
Yeah.
Like the fight for public access television.
Right.
Local movements against media consolidation.
Right.
These were instances where people came together.
Yeah.
They organized.
Right.
And they demanded a say in how their media was shaped.
So it's about recognizing our power as citizens.
Yes.
Our ability to hold these institutions accountable.
Absolutely. And it starts with awareness.
Right.
Educating ourselves and others.
Okay.
About how the current media system operates.
Yeah.
Its impact on our democracy.
Right.
And then it's about supporting alternative media sources.
Such as? What are some examples?
Whether it's independent journalism.
Right.
Local news outlets. Online platforms that prioritize diverse voices.
That's something I've been trying to do a lot more of lately.
Yeah.
Like, I've been making a really conscious effort to diversify my media diet.
Yes.
You know, to seek out news and perspectives that challenge my assumptions.
Right. And don't underestimate the power of simply having these conversations. Right. Raising awareness among your friends and family.
Yeah.
You know, the more we talk about these issues, the more we normalize critical thinking around media.
Right.
The better equipped we'll be to demand better.
It's like that whole voting with our wallets and our attention thing.
Exactly.
You know, we can choose to support media that aligns with our values.
Yes.
That prioritizes truth and integrity.
Over sensationalism and profit.
I love that. It's not about boycotting everything.
Right.
But just being mindful consumers.
Yes.
Thinking critically about the information we consume.
Yeah.
And supporting those who are trying to do things differently.
This has been a real eye-opener. I think McChesney, he doesn't just present a problem.
No.
Right. He offers a path forward.
He does.
Like a reason to be hopeful.
Yeah, absolutely. It's easy to feel overwhelmed.
Totally.
By the scale of the problem.
It's huge.
But the current media landscape is not inevitable.
Right.
It's the result of choices that were made.
Okay.
And it's within our power.
It's not too late.
To make different choices.
Okay.
To demand a media system that truly serves the public good. I like that. So for you listening, what role will you play?
What will you do?
Shaping the future of media.
How will you make your voice heard?
Our work here is done.
Mic drop.